Excuse me. It is the second week of school. 5, 6, and 8. Today is technically the 8th day of school. 8 days. Yeah, 8 days. I have a kindergartner who goes to school in Mansfield, Texas, which is a really nice neighborhood. I really like his school. I did my research on his school. Not a problem. But we have an issue. The issue is we 8 days into the school year. My issue is that I teach my child to love and to respect all people. That's what I teach my child. I teach my child not to be afraid of kids who have disabilities. I teach my child not to see color. I really do. My family is so blended, from whether it's biologically, through adoption, through marriage, that it just never really was a direct issue for me. It just wasn't. I had friends of every race. I've had Hispanics, white friends, from all different parts of the country. In my lifetime until now, I've made friends from every race and nationality. So for me personally, directly, it's not an issue. But right now I'm feeling the backfire. I'm feeling the pressure of being an African American woman raising an African American son. And it's kind of crazy because I knew one day I would have to have these conversations with my child, but never at 5 years old. Simply because, not that I put him, we have discussions in a child setting, you know what I'm saying? I don't throw a lot of things at him because why? I don't want to take away his innocence. I want him to be able to come to me and tell me anything that's going on with him in his life. A lot of people, they shut their kids out not even knowing at a young age, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, especially in our community. We're always telling them, to shut up, go sit down, be quiet, when they really have something to say. Think about it, the amount of times that a kid is told to shut up throughout the day or be quiet, even in school. It's like, okay, you're at school for 7 hours. For 6.5 of those hours, you got to be quiet. You know what I mean? So I have an open line of communication with my little 5-year-old. So this evening, I'm putting him to bed. It's August 31st? 9 o'clock? Excuse me. I'm putting him to bed. And he begins to tell me that a little boy in his classroom walked up to him and told him he didn't like the color of his skin. Now, the mother in me, I try not to show my son any reactions. Number one, like I say, I need to know the whole story. I need to know how it was said, what happened before it was said. I'm not a person that jumps to conclusions, so I need to know what was the conversation that was going on. But clearly it affected him in a way because he wanted to let me know, because he told me about it. So I'm having a conversation with my child. And so I'm kind of getting, through the story. So what happened? So where does Joshua, where does he sit? If he sits at that table and you sit at another table, how did he even get near you? Like, what was going on? So he told me that they were lining up for recess, and he just walked up to me and said, "Hey, I don't like the color of your skin." That's the way my child said it, so that's the way I'm saying that it was said. I don't know if he tapped him. I don't know if he called him by name and said, "Hey, Braylon, I don't like the color of your skin." I don't know if he laughed, but whatever it was, right before he told me it happened, he said somebody was talking about me. So he took offense to it. So now I have to act. Because my number one job, if anybody that really knows me, I am mad about my child. I do not play any games when it comes to my child. Right, wrong, or indifferent. My job is to protect him. My job is to teach him, to mold him, to raise him. to love him, and to nurture him. That's my duty. I am his first responder. So what really bothers me is that I have to sit down and figure out basically how do I explain it all? Because it's not that I'm nonchalant or naive to the things that are happening. Absolutely not. But how do you explain that to a 5-year-old? And then, y'all know my motto, these are learned behaviors. So what's going on in this child's home that he walks up to my black child and tell him he doesn't like the color of his skin? I'm aware that it's only 3, maybe 4 black children, including my son, in my son's classroom. Still wasn't an issue to me. It wasn't more than 4 black kids in his classroom last year. We never had a problem. The difference was his classroom last year was predominantly Hispanics, which also have melanin and, I guess relate, but I never had an issue. I never had an issue. I never had to sit down and explain. And then lately, he's been asking questions like, when I was little, I seen pictures and I was white. You were not white. And he says, well, Mom, you're white. I am not white. I am not white, son. And so I had a conversation with him tonight and told him, did my motherly duties to reassure him, reinforcement, let him know that he's loved, let him know that he's a king, let him know to be proud of his skin color. I wish I was his skin color. And my son's, he's about the color of my arm. It doesn't even matter though. And I explained to him how we do tan. And we just had conversations about being proud of who you are and that he's intelligent and that he is handsome. I wish I had an all over even skin tone. And the beautiful melanin. My son is handsome. He's amazing. And he's so smart and so witty. So to see a moment where he's vulnerable and he kind of breaks down and let me know, like, that situation made me feel uncomfortable. That situation hurt my feelings. When other people will react differently. Other people would, you go tomorrow, you tell them this, you tell them that. That's not the way to handle the situation. Sorry, that's not the way that I'm going to handle the situation. Different people from different lifestyles, different backgrounds will react differently. I don't react that way. The situation could turn depending on how you react to it. Like they say, it's not what happens to you, it's the way that you react to it. But I'm just kind of sad, really. I'm sad that I have to have conversations about racism, basically. And I don't really want to go to the extreme because I'm the type of person where I understand every factor that's presented. I want to know if, once I have this meeting with the principal, the teacher, and his parents, I'll know where it came from. I'll know where it came from just to see if they are instantly like, oh my, apologetic. Or if it's, he didn't mean anything by it. I'm going to see how they react to the situation. And that's going to let me know everything that I need to know. But what will not happen is that anybody will make my child feel inferior. Anybody will make him feel less than. There will be no bullying. There will be no talking about, riding, I don't know what y'all want to call it. There will be none of that with my child because I don't raise him that way. So I'm not raising a bully. I'm not raising a prejudiced child. I'm not raising my child to discriminate. I'm not raising him to treat people differently because of their color, one way or another. You don't have to treat these people better because they look like you. You treat everybody the same. You treat everybody well. You treat everybody with respect. That's what I'm teaching my child. But I'm just really baffled. I really am. I'm really baffled. I'm disappointed. I'm sad. But I knew that one day this day would come. But I didn't think when he was 5 years old would be the day where I have to sit down and kind of explain. But at the end of the day, I'm uplifting him. I'm not stuck on what was said to him. I'm uplifting him. And it just gives me even more reason to treat him like the king that he is.